Morning guys, John here, Mr. Forex Fire, and we're going to be taking a look, and I'm going to try my best to do this throughout the day. I'll be recording and then possibly stopping the video and then going to the recording as I go back to the charts. So I'm going to see how this plays out, and then you can let me know in the comments, okay? Let's just take a look. Share my screen. Share the screen. Get my lovely handsome face exploded. There we are. Right, so you can see on here, 1 minute chart, Euro USD I'm concentrating on. We've got the vertical line going down to the 8 a.m. Let's get that back along here. Let's get this correct, John. There we are. 8 a.m. 8 a.m. start. From there, we were waiting for a break of structure, okay? We've got a break of structure here from this point, swing high, swing low. And from there, we came, in fact, let's just take a look. Yeah, because this was swung out. Well, this was our entry here. We got stopped out. I've just minimized that, because that's where the X is. So that's a -1 or a 0.5%, depending on how you play the game. From there, we've got the break of structure on the top side. We've come back down to play. See where the crosshair go to the right. Come back into play here. Got a 1% here. Okay. You'll see on here at the moment, if I just do a square, you can see there's a break of structure from the top side here. In fact, what may be better is if I do that on the wick. You see there, the wick, there's a breakout there. So as we come back down into play, it's the last down before the up. It's this candle here, or it's the body of that. It's the same. And this would be going for a 1 to 2.11. So far this morning, what we have is just over a 1% gain, because this was 1% loss, 1.04. Okay, so it's a 0.04 gain. This one's heading for a 2.11 trade, where it looks as if it's going to hit this again. I'm going to be factoring in break-even structure points and things like that at the moment. What I'm going to do, I'm going to stay on here for another minute or two just to see if this trade plays out. I'll then pause the video, and then I'll move on to the next trade as and when the 1 minute break of structure allows us to enter that. And we'll document this throughout the day. Again, if you're not on my supporters side, there's a couple of ways you can do that to support the channel here. You can go directly to forexfiremembers.com, select the support that you want to do. There's two different types of support. There's the YouTube supporter, where you'll get a reply to comments from myself, and also a chat for a messenger chat, the badges and emojis to the channel. The second one is if you're seeing or getting value from what I do within the Forex Fire YouTube channel that I have, and you want to delve more, we have this great area here, which is our official, it's an official Discord channel. I have currently around about 360 plus members. I do sessions in there with regards to homework, extra value with regards to modules and training. You can see here we've just getting a 2%, so that's 2.11. So we're just going to document that 2.11%. So far, guys, so far in the 1 minute charts, we've got we've got 2.1, it'll be 2.15% win rate, percentage growth, to be fair. So going back on the Discord channel, yeah, guys, you can, for $8.99, you can get full access and become not just a spark, you can become a fully fledged Forex Fire member. And for that, you get access to the Discord channel, the community, the chat to myself, the one-on-ones, the trade ideas, stuff that everyone puts in there. Again, the strategies, the procedures, and the modules and the homework sessions. So if you're seeing so much value what I'm doing here now and you want to get more in depth with this sort of stuff, okay, all you need to do is click on the join me button, which should be on my channel near the top of this YouTube channel. Okay, guys, so I'm going to pause the video for now, and then hopefully when I hit record, I don't have to do too much editing on these videos and you can just watch through the stuff that this does. Okay, so I'll speak to you a little bit later. Hi guys, and welcome back. It hasn't taken long for us to find another entry. We're going to see how this goes. Just going to share the screen. Again, long position because we had the break of this here. We're looking at the last down before the up. I think this entry is going to be a lot harder, to be fair. Break a structure from this to this. You're looking at around about. Just take a look. This is the push. Got to push and pull up. Long position. So it's going to be it. Let's get rid of that. Excuse me. In fact, this might be heading for a stop out. I do think it's still in there at the moment. I think it will stop us out. Again, very transparent in what we're doing here. We'll see what happens. We're just starting to get the turn before. You see on this here, we have the spike up here. That there is the entry. That there was the liquidity. There's the stop out there, guys. There's the stop out there. Shame. That's a shame. So again, let's mark this up. With an X. Keep that one there. Minimize this in. So what I'm going to be doing now is basically, let's get my handsome head up a little bit bigger. So what I'm waiting for now, I'm going to let this play out a bit. And I think I'm going to let this structurally from here try and break out this higher side or break out this lower side. We'll let price move a bit more. From there, I'll get back to you in a bit. Again, so far so good. I think this is working with regards to me being able to pause the recording and jumping back on. So I'm going to pause the recording, guys, and I'll be jumping back on in a minute. So before we go any further, that is, let's get the calculator on here. Again, that was a -1 plus a 1.04. -1 plus a 0.0. Get this right, John. -1 plus a 1.04. Okay. And then a plus 2.11. And then minus a 1. So we are down to, at the moment, as it stands, an account growth of 1.15%. Again, I'm just going to leave the calculator up here, guys, okay? And from there, we're just going to let, as I say, this play out, try and get a break of structure between these two here. Let the account breathe a bit. Again, it's not always about trying to get in on the next swing straight away. You can always let the markets move a little bit. It's not imperative that you get in on these trades instantly. You can let the trades move a little bit, because we were only ever going to work between, see, let's take the swing point, for example, okay? You've got the push down and the correction coming in. This here, okay, this here is an important area. Why? It's simply because we've had the initial push down, okay, which is broken that structure there. We would then wait for the return back to that contractual area, which again, you can see this here is coming straight back into the order block of here, and it's going to start to push down. So we just get rid of this. We could, in fairness, very well in fairness, see a maneuver back down to, whoops. I just taken that off. Yeah. So we could see, because this is a push down, okay, this is a liquidity area. You could see a big maneuver coming back onto here, which would be a 1 to 10, which is a huge move. What we'll do is we'll see if that plays out. Again, these are just this is just a testing phase. This is just to show you the importance of these swing points. We'll see if this one plays out. Okay, we'll leave this on. Again, just going to get rid of a few bits and pieces on the noise. Get rid of this. Get rid of this. And get rid of this. We'll see if this one plays out. If it does, it's a huge move. Again, let's see where we are from a bigger picture. Let's see where we are on the half hour, just to see where the trend is, to be fair. Yep, so you can see on the trend, we are actually on a down maneuver, a downtrend. So this could be coming back for a pullback on the 1 minute to mitigate for it to then push down further. Do we have, yeah. So as you can see on here, this is where we are at the moment on the half hour. Just out of interest, on the half hour, you can see we've got imbalance, okay? Price action's been met there. Go along here, we can see it's come back into mitigate a bit. Let's just put this further along. This is where this area here is basically where there's been too many of one type of order, whether it's buying or selling. Let's just keep making this along here. Right. Let's go back down to the 1 minute. And look at that, guys. Look at that, guys. This is the imbalance area. It has been more or less filled from this morning, earlier this morning. Okay. Still a little bit here of imbalance. So maybe we might come down to grab the rest of this liquidity here, because this is inefficiency on the bottom end. Okay. There's not many pips there to be filled, in all honesty. Okay. But it's still where inefficiency, imbalance, and liquidity resides at the moment. Okay, so just gonna get rid of that. That's going to give us a little bit more of added confluence. Okay, again, this is already an entered trade based upon that there. So it is in some good profits. There is things you can do with regards to moving to break even and taking partials. Again, we've come down. Okay, so you could use this as a swing point. Okay, you could use that as a swing point and say, well, if this comes to here, we can move this to break even. So if it comes down here, you're moving your stop loss to your break even area. So then if this reverses back out, if this here was to reverse back out after it's touched here, you know at least it's going to be on a break even aspect. But what we'll do is we'll let this ride. We'll see if this is going to come back down to take that little bit of inefficiency that resides under here. But more importantly, we've got the liquidity here, and this is going to be a bit more of a bigger push. Just a 1 pip SL based upon the order block here. It's a very, very good trade if this plays out, to be fair. very precise and precision. But I'm going to pause the video from there, guys, and we'll have another look in a bit. We'll see whether we're going to be moving anywhere past the break even and see where the trade takes us. Again, this is just a testing and a back testing phase during a live chart procedure, if that makes sense. Okay, so I'm just going to stop the share and we'll pause the video and I'll see you in a bit. Hi, welcome back. John, ForexFire, Mr. ForexFire, share the screen. It looks as if we're going to head for a stop out on this order block. Again, going on the 15-minute, guys. Just remember that this is a testing phase. Even on the 15 minutes, okay, we've had a big push, big downtrend, okay. From there, within here on the 1 minute, what we're trading from the 8 o'clock, it looks as if we may be getting a reversal back up into these higher areas, to be honest. Just see, I'm going to take this up for a 1 hour. Reload the side. So there's the 1 hour. That's the 1 minute. Here's the 1 hour. So again, we've got a lot. This was the imbalance we were talking about. We still got a lot of price down on the bottom side. To be fair, as low as 1.16, 116s. But that's quite low. That was going back to the 20th of August. So the average price at the moment is hovering this sort of area here, the average price, to be fair. Let's go back. Yeah, it's certainly drawn down. It's been on a big downtrend up to the point of the 20th. We did come back up to sort of test these areas, but then it came back into a downtrend for a continuation down rather than the break back up. Again, if we do eventually get, instead of this pushing down from this area, we get a push back up. If we get a break throughout this area here, we certainly get a break through that, a push out, we could then get a bang, a retest, and then eventually we would start looking at these sort of areas here long term. So from that wick there down to that wick there, a lot of inefficiency. There's a lot of sellers in control there. It needs to come back to rebalance. It's got to come back and rebalance itself in time. So again, we work heavily on structure points and things like that. We just move this out. This could be something to look for in the future. Again, that sort of stuff there. What we would be waiting for on this, to be honest, guys, let's get the path. You'd be waiting for a push down, some sort of climb, possibly a push a bit further down to take some sort of liquidity out of here, a push up, and as we break out of here, a retest, and then a push up into that area there to take out some of this imbalance that was along on the earlier candles, as you can see along here. See the imbalance that has got to be met at some stage. Let's just scroll back along on here. Just go back to the 1 minute. Yeah, that's stopped out, which is a shame because that could have been a good move. Again, we mentioned structure points, going along here, structure points, move to break even. So that hasn't cost anything getting into. It's just been a one that we were possibly looking at with interest, because we've come down to sort of mitigate the liquidity. That there in itself could have been a risk to reward of 1 to 3.38. So if you'd taken the trade to here, at least you excuse me, you could have gotten a risk to reward of 1 to 3.38 based upon that earlier order block on the return. However, we were treating this as a continuation down for a 1 to 10.54. So again, this one isn't a loss as such because we had a move to break even. We just treat it as a non-ended trade. Okay, so with that in mind, we can just basically delete that bit off. We'll delete that bit off. It's just a learning curve to show you guys what I'm looking at throughout the day, how you can sort of use this and what we can do moving forward, trading the 1 minute charts. Okay, and again, I'm going to keep continuing to pause and then go back on the chart and hit the record button as we see things. Okay, so as we've come down, you can see we've got a little bit of a drive up now, and again creating an upward channel. From there, we're just going to look to the left. We can see at the moment we are certainly in the order block. Here when it does this, we are certainly in that order block there. An order block is just one full candle. We've come up to mitigate the halfway point of that here. However, as we've come up, I'm looking for the last down before the up, to be fair, because that liquidity is being drawn out here. So I'm looking at this order block right here to be met. Okay, so I would be possibly looking at that there with a stop to just under the swing point, and the target of liquidity is going to be that there. Okay, so that's the one for this one right now, because we've been drawn out. Let's get a trend. This here is the breaker structure. Okay, we've got the BOS there. So as we come down, we'll be looking at some sort of pullback areas, and if there's any pullbacks within this before an entry takes place, we'll be moving this accordingly as a structure point to treat that as either 1, a take partial area, or 2, it will become an area where we can see, right, let's make this a risk-free trade, move the SL to the break even. If it comes back and hits my SL, I haven't lost anything. It's just giving me a lesson on structure. Okay, so what I'm going to do, this bit here, again, let's just see, have I got the BOS wrote out on this? No, I haven't. So I'm just going to show a text. Break of structure. So if you ever see BOS on any of my videos, you'll see that means a break of structure. Okay, so we've had the break of structure. We're now waiting again for predetermined entry as we swing back down into this order block. This is the entry. The SL is just below the liquidity area of that order block, and the push up and the TP area is this swing point here where we've had the breaker structure of this. Okay, guys, so I'm going to pause the video now. We'll see what happens, see where we go and see where we head. This may in turn actually break this structure here. All we will do is on the first breaker structure and the return back down a bit, we will just extend the TP area for the next swing. So I would normally wait for 2 swing points in fairness. Okay, and it looks like it's going to break that now. So I'm going to pause the video. We'll be back in a minute. So okay, see you later, guys. Welcome back again. Not that it hasn't been too long. So we share my screen a moment. Again, just to reiterate, guys, this is not a live trading for me this morning. Again, I'm testing stuff at the moment on the 1 minute scalp. Excuse me, just had a cup of tea. Again, this is just a testing phase. It's just for me to show you things that I look at, and hopefully you can take little nuances out of this, okay? And you can see on here, we spoke on the last one, we've had the break of structure, okay? However, not only have we now broken the structure of that there from a new swing point, this in itself, this order block here, is broken that structure there, okay? So what we can do, we just get rid of that. I can now look at the next swing point, which is not much of a swing point in fairness. You can see that there, okay? The order block, that's a supply area. What I'm going to do, I'm going to move this up to here, this to just below that swing point. Our TP area is just underneath that order block because it resides with a wick, okay? There's a risk to reward of 1 to 2.5, okay? Let's get rid of that demand zone. Supply is always on the top, okay? Supply is the top and demand is on the bottom. So when you get a push up in a consolidation, that there is distribution. It's a distribution phase before any impulse move up or down. When you're on the bottom, when you get an impulse down and then you get the consolidation on the bottom, it's called an accumulation of price, okay? So again, what we've got there, we've got the break of structure. And let's just get the trend line. You see there's been a bit of a pullback here. Okay, we'll make this black. From there, if we do eventually get the price to come down and push up, okay, this area here that we've got right now, we could use that as it would be a take partial, or again, it could be a move, a move to break even. So we're going to see how this plays out. Again, as always, I'm hoping what I'm doing, because this is all recorded live, basically. It is recorded, it's unedited, but all I'm doing is I'm hitting record on my Discord, on my Zoom. I'm pausing the recording and then I'm hitting record again as I jump back on the screen. So this is technically, it is live. And just to go back on things, guys, we started this at 8 a.m. I am possibly going to do this to, let's say, around about, I normally only trade till about 10:30 anyway, okay? So I'll possibly run this to 11 o'clock. I'll take it to 11 o'clock, see where we are, and then we'll do a final conclusion with that. And then this will be uploaded to YouTube, okay, guys? So again, on the preferences on here, so far we've got a return of 1.15. This could boost us up if it was to enter. This will possibly take us between 3 and 4%. We'll see where we are in the next 10 or 15 minutes and see if it enters us. Remember, we are moving this to break even if we have an entry first of all along here and then we touch back up here, okay? If it pushes down and pushes out, it's a -0.5 or a -1%, whichever way you trade. However, if it enters and goes up, touches this line, the stop loss will be moved to break even. If we don't get a push through the TP and it comes back down to the stop loss, we haven't lost anything at all. We've just gained the chance to attain a certain profit, okay? But at the same time, you're learning to move your entries, your SLs, your TPs within structure of the price, okay? Now, I hope you're all taking stuff away from this, and if you need to, you can always rewatch these videos. So I'm going to pause the video for now. We'll get back to you when there's a few more candles formed, okay? Speak to you in a bit. It's welcome back, guys. It's only been a few minutes since we last on the last segment of recording. Again, these 1 minute charts at times they will be a little bit prolonged before you either get the entries, the SLs, the TPs, or to move any sort of parameters in your trading. And sometimes they come pretty quick. I think it's been around about 5 minutes or so, or not even that, since the last update. However, we share the screen, and at the moment the price is moving down into the entry. So again, this is into entry, but also a bit of drawdown. Remember, if we get the push up to this area here, the trade is a risk-free trade. However, if this pushes down and out through the red zone of the order block, excuse me, then unfortunately that will be determined or predetermined as a loss. So what we're going to do, we're going to stay on the video for now and see what happens on the next candle or two, just to see how it plays out. It gives me a chance to have a bit of a further chat. I'm hoping you're finding this sort of method and this way of me producing this kind of content is useful. If you want to see more of stuff like this on what I do, please comment below. There's the stop out there, guys. So again, that one would be a loss. So we need to put a X on there. And again, I'm not trading these live. I'm just doing this because it's Monday morning. I don't tend to trade live, if I'm honest, on a Monday. I like the markets the allowance to breathe and find their feet, because at times there can be some form of manipulation within the markets, to be fair. And what's the betting that this may possibly now go back up and then hit this area here, simply because this was the swing down. However, if you look here, you can see we've got a solitary red candle. Maybe we should have covered that area as well, but we haven't. We kept that there. What we'll do is we'll treat this as I say. I didn't see this at the time. However, it will be interesting to see if this actually does go down or come back up without stopping through that there. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to mark this out with curiosity. I want to put this on this candle here, just to see if that would have stopped us out here. But that is an X on there. Let's get the calculator. We'll take away a -1, because I'll just treat these as trades where we put a 1% on, to be honest. Again, because we're not using real money as such. We're just trying to look at the structure of price and how that moves. From there, I just want to have a quick check on a GBP USD. I just want to see what's happening with that, to see if I had anything on there. Bit of wishy-washy. Got a nice big push out here, to be honest. I do like to follow the British pound. So that's an order block there. Obviously, we've had to push out. You could see you're waiting for a return. There's the entry there. GB, this is hard doing this on the British pound USD because there's a lot of volatility. Again, you've got TP area there. That could be a massive 1 to 6.87. Again, structure point wise, you could see it right. Well, if this enters, that there is going to be not just a move to break even. You can have a take partial there. Okay, so from there, I would honestly see it, and we'll keep an eye on this one as well, to be fair. Take partial. And we want this in the middle. No, we want it on the top. We want it to the right. Okay, so that will be a take partial area. This bit here, I would possibly have that bit there to a move to BE. Okay, a move to break even. Then I would have a take partial here. Okay, what we'll do is we just do this. We'll go right. So price is there. We're expecting it to come to here. Oh, hopefully come to here. We're hoping for it to do this. Let's just make that red. And let's just go back to, I just want to make that purple, the Euro USD, which is what we were looking at. Yes, it's took out the liquidity on there as well. So from there, guys, from there, we are now looking at the breaker structure. Let's get rid of this. Get rid of this. And I'll show you the next move that we're going to wait for. Get this X along here, move this right along here, because we've had to break the structure from here. We get rid of that. That there is the order block. However, as you can see, we've got the wickety wild wild west up on the top there. Hope you like that. And what we're doing is we're going for the short, taking it from here, do it to above the wick, just above the wick, okay? And so far, that's where we are with that, to 2.71. This will be the last trade for this morning session, because again, I don't tend to trade anywhere after 10 o'clock, but because I'm doing this as a video, I'm going to treat this as if we are just going to be doing an extended sort of trading session. Normally I can go to 10:30 in the morning, if I'm honest with you, because that's what time it is at the moment. We'll see if this one will play out for us, and then we'll take it from there. Again, we also looking at the GBP USD. Is there any pushback on this at the moment? See how this is heading back, guys. This one here, the push down, the push up, a bit of a spike. The touch on here is within. When I say order blocks, each candle is an order block. You see how that's come back in, it's pushed through, it's come back into respect a certain area within the order block, and then it's bounced back up. What you'll possibly get now is this one here. You may even get an A, B, C push, but then you might get another bounce down and then a push up. In essence, what I suppose what I'm getting at is you've got this coming into this, coming up here, depending on where it's going to push, might push into here, and then we got to push up, breaking the structure of this, maybe it's to bounce down, then hopefully we'll get a play down to this downside, to be fair. Let's have a look. Let's make that purple. Dotted line, arrow. Make it a bit thicker. We'll see what happens with this, and we'll see how it plays out. Again, each defined sell, bit of a pullback on the buy. This, again, that is an order block. So the last up before the down, the last down before the up, like this area here. See how we had the pull. You always got to do double tap on these for some reason at the minute. That there is an area. So you've got, there's your last down before the buy. So as the buyers come back into control, we are looking for logical areas within these where price can come back to respect. Okay, so just going to let this play, see if we're getting entry. Let's go back to Euro USD. Forex Fire Magic Wand. Again, we're starting to get the pull back up. Let's just take a look. Yeah, so the price is, even though we've got the seller selling, there's no price inefficiency between this here, because even though you've got sell, you've got wicks which is covering this here. So normally an imbalance is like a cover from there down to the next wick. So that there is an imbalanced area because there's no buying in here, where you would normally see where these wicks are. It's covering the other side of the body. So when you pull out, you'll get a concentrated area within an imbalanced move being respected, as you see in here, to eventually where it either fulfills the contract or it'll push and break through. But on here, there's no inefficiency because you've got to push down, and then the candle here is covering the buying sort of thing. Same there, there's no inefficiency there. So we might get a continuation down, in fairness. And if we do get that continuation down, my next sort of port of call or look will be possibly that. And if that happens, if that does push down to meet this, we may get a breakout under here, which then would then give my attention to that candle there for the push up before the push down of any breakout underneath here. Again, some of this guys at the moment might just go over your head, but if you watch back on these videos bit by bit, this is where you start getting the eye for the likes of breaker structures, the eye for structure in itself, how it works, the swing points, and the importance of these order blocks. Again, let's just go back to GBP USD. Again, it's acting like I thought it was going to intend. I'm expecting a bit of a pullback down into this order block and then a continuation up. What I'll do for now, guys, again, I'm going to pause the video. I'm going to give it an extra 10 or 15 minutes, and then I'm going to close out with a conclusion. Okay, guys, again, thank you for watching. If you're enjoying this, comment. Always comment. Give me some engagement in the video. Let me know what you think. Give me a thumbs up. But more importantly, hit the subscribe or the notification bell, because if I do get enough interest in these things, I might start doing these a little bit more with regards to doing the video and then doing the recording, but pause and then coming back to it when we possibly get an entry or a TP taken. Okay, so hit the join as well. If you're getting value from this, hit the join and select the level you want to come in at and support the channel, whether it's $2.99 just to get access to the badges and the emojis, and also the chance to get a reply to any comments you put on my channel. From there, we have the further progression, which I'm going to show you right now, to be fair, before we pause the video. The further progression for $8.99, you're going to get access to all this amazing goodness, which is obviously the members trade ideas, where we all help each other on this. Okay, we have the results where everyone's seeing results and they're posting in here. We've got challenge chats, we've got funded links, we've got a chat area, you've got the video training, you've got the banker supply and demand, ADR, currency strength stuff. This is very active, as you can see this morning. There's so much goodness in here, and all of that for $8.99, guys. Absolutely fantastic stuff. Quick check on the charts. We're getting that push back up. It's not going to come into respect this by the look of it. We might actually get the push and then the pull down. Check the Euro USD, see where we are. Again, we're starting to get the slight pull up. I'm going to pause the video, guys, and I'll see you in the next minute or two. Okay, speak to you in a bit. And we're back. Let's have a look and share the screen. Let's have a look and share that screen. And there we have, guys, again, the prediction so far. So far, so good. You can see where we were expecting a pull up and then a pull down into a contractual area on here. Will we get a continuation push up where the next phase, hopefully, fingers crossed, hopefully the next phase on this would be the push up to break the structure here. If we do break the structure here, this is where the entry may occur. again, one or two things can only happen on here. We either here have that attainability where we were expecting the drive, push, drive up into the entry, or if we do not get enough of the buyers coming back into control and we don't break that structure, okay, we might see a decline where we then come back into here. If we do get a decline on here, which is a possibility, if we get the decline and it continues to break down and we break this structure, you can see this here, which is the last up before the down. This would then, this would then become our order block inside of this bigger order block for the down maneuver, okay? But this here would not become active until we get the break structure on the lower side, okay? So as you've drove up, okay, you've got a high, you've got a higher low, a higher high, a higher low, okay? This would be a higher high with an entry. However, price is now driving past and creating what we call a higher low, if that makes sense, because we'll be coming down on a downturn, okay? A lower low, sorry. This will be determined as a lower low because it's coming down as a push, okay? We might still get the drive up because the order block, okay, the order block as it stands is a contractual area, and within that price efficiency, you've got a lot of buys and sellers between there. So let's just show you something. If we just go under a fixed range, so that candle there between there and there, that, let's just see if I can get this a bit bigger. You can see where the volume of buyers and sellers are in there, okay? Let's just take another look. This is just for a little bit more in depth, a little bit more secret sauce that I use. We can see this line here is where most of the volume is. Okay, so if I do the line, look where that line's meeting. It's banging on where the volume is at the moment, guys. Again, this is giving you an insight of a bit more knowledge of what I have, but I don't want to give too much into the YouTube channel to sort of perplex people at this moment and at this stage, okay? So I'm just going to get rid of that. What we see, the price and the volume of the efficiency is starting to get met with regards to that there, and it's still within the order block. Just go back and just go back and going on the rule of play that we're looking at the moment. Let's go and have a look at the Euro USD, see what's happening with that little baby. Again, we've had the push down. We're still waiting for this push up, to be fair. Whether it's going to happen, I don't think it will now. We're coming to the end of what I would normally trade anyway. We're looking for that. And again, it'll be the same preference for if price, keep that where it's at, John. It'll be the same preference for if price did a little bit of this, okay, and then broke that. If it broke that structure, okay, and it created a new lower point, okay, we would then be looking for the return back up into here, which would be the last up before the down, which would be the order block. Not this one. I would be using this one as the order block if there was a price to come and break through this structure here, okay? Let's just go back on the GBP USD. And this looks as if it may hold. USD. Again, I'm going to pause the video, guys. I've got another 10-15 minutes, and I'm going to give you a conclusion, and then I'll upload this to the YouTube channel and see what you guys think. Hopefully, when I look back on this and I watch it, I can possibly see that it does work well with regards to the record to the pause, to the record. It's going to be an easier option for me because I just like to do everything live, if that makes sense. Not live, but record it on the fly. If I make a mistake or I hash up, it's actually showing raw my video because I'm very down to earth, genuine, and it's an honest approach. Okay, so if something doesn't work, you're going to see it. I'm not going to hide it and hide behind false reports and false results, if that makes sense, guys. Okay, and in the meantime, if you haven't been on this website on the top, forexfiremembers.com, go on there, click on a plan that suits you. If you've been getting value from this video, you can either support the channel that I have on here and become a Spark. The Spark gives you the emojis, it gives you the chat feature with regards to getting on a personal chat with me if you need that, and it gives you badges to show that you support the channel. Okay, the next level up is this bad boy here, which is my full social media Discord channel, where everybody's going through the training, they're going through the homework, they're going through trade ideas, they're sharing their experiences, they're sharing their results, and we do this on a day-to-day basis. Okay, guys, so again, let's have one little last check. It looks like this is going to go down on a downturn, the GBP USD. Again, we're heading down towards what that would have been on that break even. Again, we haven't ended yet. We might get the push up, but I've got a feeling now. I've got a feeling I'm going to break through this structure where this would invalidate this trade here, which is a shame because if we did get that push up to enter on here, there could have been a good chance because of structure. We don't work on fundamentals on trading smart money. Price will respect the swing points. Okay, it only invalidates a swing point or its initial move on a trend if the buyers or the sellers decide they're going back into control, but it predetermines your swing points like these here, this on the top, this on the bottom. This will predetermine where price is going to move within an intermediary structure point based upon the highs, the lows, the highs, the lows. They will always work between those parameters. Okay, guys, we'll stop the share and we'll come back with a conclusion in the next 10 or 15 minutes. Right, guys, hello and welcome back. It's been around 5 or 10 minutes of that. Just going to share the screen. We can see we haven't come down past the breaking of structure over here. It's come down to test it. We could still possibly get a push up from here to get that entry point still, to be honest. However, I believe we may just fluctuate in here to create what we would call a head and shoulder pattern, if that makes sense, where we get this, we may get that to this, to that, to this. We may just get the head and shoulder. Oh, let's get that back. We don't want to lose that out. This is what I want to move. See this here? Head and shoulder pattern. We may get a move down and then get the breaker structure from here, to be fair, because it looks like a head and shoulder pattern there. Again, something else. One of the very first things I started learning when it came to my trading, I followed a lot with head and shoulders, to be fair. We'll just get rid of that and we'll see what happens. Again, just out of my curiosity, because we learn every day, I just want to see if we get a reaction point up there. And I'm going to make that black, to be honest, because I don't want to confuse things. I just want to see if I get a rejection up there and then come down. Yeah, see that? See that? It's rejected. Yeah, it's wicked. All this is live, guys. All this is live. So we'll stay on for 2 seconds just to see what's going to push through. We might actually find that it rejects. Okay. From there is a technique you can use, because that would be the left shoulder, head, right shoulder, from the baseline of the neck up to the head. Okay. If that was to break the neck, you then looking at that area there being the target once you break, okay? But again, that's other stuff that I need to go into and show you at a later date. Let's have a look at the Euro USD, see what's happening with that. Again, it's just fluctuating and consolidating on there. So with that being said, let's just get a conclusion on this because it's getting towards the end. A growth, because we didn't enter on this. Okay, I'm just going to finalize what we've done so far this morning. We would have ended the last couple of hours in very small profit on a morning session. Again, my trading and what I do is I normally do this from 8 a.m. to around about, say, 9:30, 10, or just after. Pardon me, didn't mean to do that. Again, this is live. Up till around about 9:30, 10, we pushed this up to 11 o'clock just to see how the trading goes, to be honest. Again, we lost a couple, we did a break even. We got a 1.04, we got a 2.11, and then we took another loss towards the end of here. So I'm going to end the session on this one at least. I'm just going to end it there. Again, these clickable things are just terrible on the Mac at the moment. Short text and 10:53 a.m. Okay, so that's been the session there. The overall growth has been 0.15%. We're back on the GBP USD. Now this one, guys, this one's heavily interesting me at the moment. So I'm going to pause the video again and I'm going to let this ride out a bit. I am watching something on the TV and then we'll come back to the screen at the minute and I'll give a final conclusion on this. Again, we were expecting a rejection of this for a head and shoulder pattern. It is rejecting off it at the moment. However, I would still love to see this push through this to give us the entry to possibly go for this, okay? So I'm just going to stop the share and hopefully, again, you are enjoying the video that I'm putting on here. I'm going to try and do some more of these. Let me see your engagement. Drop your comment below. Let us know if this sort of approach on a video is something you would like for me to do when I'm doing my live tradings. Again, I would like to get on and do live sessions, if that makes sense. However, I've done that in the past for other things I've done, and it's took my concentration away from the chart itself. With this approach, at least I can look at the stuff I'm looking at without the interruption, but at the same time, I'm able to pause when I get to a certain point of doing the explanation and then coming back to it, starting the recording again from the unpaused situation, and then giving you an analysis and an up-to-date bias on what's happened from when we stopped the recording. Okay, guys, so I'll be back on. It's now currently coming up to 11 o'clock. I'll be back on in a bit. I'm just going to let the candles play out for the next 15 minutes and then we'll give a conclusion on this as well. I'll speak to you in a bit. Hi guys, John here for the final conclusion and what has gone on with today. I'm just going to share the screen. The GBP USD, again, it's a very volatile pair. We can see it did a big spike, a big push, and it broke through here. Again, this wasn't involved in today's trading 1 minute chart session. It was just something that we were looking at. It was the Euro USD as we go back onto that, to be fair. And we did the session update. Started at 8 a.m., had a loss, a win, another loss, and then we had one which has technically entered now and is starting to play out, but we did end the trade and we ended the session on a 0.15. This may play out and go to 2.71 again. I'm not going to count this in on the trade if it does or if it doesn't, but it has ended. But going on the preference and the conclusion, you can see just how important these areas are as we've come in. Okay, we are within the order block. I said I was going to include this wick just to show you how important this stuff is. This is the order block of that particular area. The contracts that have got to be filled. You can see the wick is more or less would have stopped us out of this order block. However, we included the extra bit of wick on the upside to cover that. And again, if we were in on this trade, we would still be entered. At the moment, 2.71, where it's at the minute, it's a risk to reward of 0.88. Okay, I'll go back to 271. Structure-wise, again, structure-wise, there's not really much structure on here to move to break even, other than what I would have possibly looked at is maybe the halfway point. I would have possibly said, because it's come down and touched on there, I would have said I would have had that there, not so much as a take partial. I would have just had this at a move to break even, to be honest. But that's it. That's it for today's little video. It has been the 13th of September. I'm not looking to get into any trades today, to be fair. Again, this is Monday. This is something new that I'm going to be sort of doing and implementing on my YouTube channel. Just going to make this a little bit bigger so I can see what I'm doing. Again, if you've taken anything away from this and you've seen a little bit of insightfulness on the scalping or the trading of that 1 minute chart today, just drop your comment below, let me know. Again, I'm going to finish this off with the outtake on things. Little bit of profit if we had been trading it. Again, it's not always about getting in on every single trade. We need to look at these swing points and identify structure as to where the order blocks lay. Okay, again, watch this back. If you do find what I'm doing content wise is useful, okay, you can click on the join now button and become a spark, an official spark with us here at forexfire. And what that'll do on a spark level for $2.99 a month, it does let you have access to do the comments, okay, and I will reply to every comment on people that are supporting the channel as a spark. From there, you get an official badge and the use of emojis as well. And if you want to go even deeper, you'll have seen earlier on the video, we've got this right here, the Discord community, which is full of other like-minded people. And again, for the cost of $8.99, where you get to support the channel and what I do, you also get access to my training modules, the homework sessions, the sort of one-on-one messaging, the trade ideas that gets pumped into there as well. And there's a whole lot of plethora inside of that. Okay, so again, just hit that join button, select how you want to support the channel. It does go a long way for me to produce more content. Again, you can also go to forexfiremembers.com, which is just above my handsome Geordie face, and we can see you on the other side. Because when you get onto that, I can get you on, because I've got my own self-made app as well. Excuse me. So we can get you inside of that. That's in development with some stuff that I'm doing on there as well, with putting blogs and extra content on that app as well. So there's some good things coming, guys. Okay, so I hope you've enjoyed the video today. I'm now going to watch this back. I don't edit anything. I'm just simply recording live as it is, ultimately raw, cutting it off in a section by pausing it and then jumping back on to see where we are and giving you a bias driven on how the candles have reacted over that short break of time. Okay, guys, and that's how I'm going to do this moving forward. So give us a thumbs up, click on the like, please comment, and hit the subscribe to the channel today. See you later.